Do you know what makes a slave? Somebody who is not in control of his or her destiny. That makes you a perfect. You say, I'm an engineer, I'm a professor, I'm teaching. You are a slave. You are not in control of your future. You are not in control of yourself. If you park your car wrongly, they can revoke your residence and they will put you on the next available plane and you're going back to the zoo. Is that not correct? You're a slave. The reason why we have come here is to remove you from slavery, to take you back home where you belong, to make you understand who you are, and to say to you that, quite frankly, when Biafra is restored, Biafra will be more beautiful than Kuwait. Do you know why I say this? Because we are naturally hardworking. Is that not true? Naturally hardworking from nature. We are creative. We are intelligent. We gave the world internet. There is nothing we cannot do. Then why are we wasting all these valuable talents outside where we are not being regarded? That is what I cannot understand. I struggle to understand it. Imagine what we can do in Okigwe. Imagine what we can do in Ohoza. Imagine what we can do at Ogwashuku. Just think about it. Imagine the type of seaport we can build in Warri. Imagine the type of resorts we can build in Iguacha. I mean resorts. World-class holiday resorts that people can come to. Imagine what we can do in Ohafia. Or in Abreba for that matter. Imagine what we can do at Uguta Lake. Imagine how we can transform Nike Lake Resort. Imagine trains carrying our coal from Enugu all the way to Iguacha to put it on a ship to take it abroad to those that want to buy it. The possibilities are endless. But we are wasting it abroad. I don't care about this generation that have decided to be stupid. What concerns me is your children. Because they are bound to follow you. To try and live abroad as their father did, as their mother did. To try to serve the country where you gave birth to them. And they become useless to Biafra land. And the more we are staying outside, the more idiots are in the villages. Some of you wonder why you go to the villages now and terrible things are happening in the village. Because all the good people left. The reason why Andrew checked out, most of you don't know, was because he could not tolerate the nonsense, the useless zoo police, the army, all the potholes on the road. The stealing, the thieving, the fraud and the corruption. Some people are just fed up. And they leave. And you give birth to your children and they stay. Right now, some of you travel home once every, or 4.5 years, or 5 years. For 1 week. Am I lying? Some don't go home now. So the only time you have in your life to remember who you are is when you have an occasion like this. But for your children, it will be worse. Some of you are looking at the closure. Some of you are the only son in the house. Is that not correct? Some of you are the only male child to carry the name of that family forward. Your family has been existing for nearly 1,000 years old. But your family will die in your own time. Because we are slaves abroad. Anyway, Chukwuemeka said so in the book of Deuteronomy. He said, I will destroy you. I will scatter you. In fact, I will deal with you to the point whereby you will no longer know who you are. Other people will take your sons and your daughters. Is that what the Bible said? Other people will take your sons and your daughters because you have come abroad, you are living abroad, your children are going to be given to foreigners. And they will never know the way back home anymore. And your family will be closed down. Aman Nagigechi in your own time. Because we are slaves abroad. Only Biafra can save you. Biafra is not just here to save you, but to save your family name and where you come from. To save your village. That is why we do what we do. They say that EFCC is warning baboons and monkeys against corruption. EFCC warns Nigerians against corruption. Is that news? It's like going to the church and the archbishop telling everybody to be of good conduct. Because you know it is not workable. It is not possible for those joining us. This is Radio Biafra. The time now here is some few minutes to 9 p.m. in the evening, approximately 17 minutes to 7 p.m. in the evening when we should be starting, but we are in a live town hall situation. We are in Kuwait City, in Kuwait. One of us traveled home. I say one of us, those that live in the diaspora. His name is Barry Ndulue, a businessman from Germany. He was shot dead on Lagos-Badagry Expressway. That is how lawless that very place is. If he stayed in Germany, he would be alive. He said, let me go. I'm a Nigerian. Let me go to Nigeria. And he was shot dead. A lawless country. We used to read about the wild, wild west in America and watch movies. That very zoo called Nigeria is worse than the height of lawlessness in the west of the Americas. I tell you. Some of you don't know what is happening because you don't travel home. Some of you don't know what is going on because you are in your air-conditioned cars, office, and home, and shopping mall. Because I even understand that lettuce and cucumber has a shopping mall. Is that not true? Where they sell vegetable is a shopping mall. The man is dead. Because all of us failed to do what we are supposed to do. We never changed it. Everybody is afraid of Buhari. Everybody is afraid of Hausa police, Hausa army, and their British friends. Is appointed unto man only but once to die. Only cowards die many times before their death. I was told that in China that we sleep with our shoes on. Makadi Amama, many police gabi. In China, people go to sleep. Some are standing up and they're sleeping because any moment they can just take off. We are in one almighty mess. What I find surprising, which is why in all the years I've been studying the brain of a black person. Do you know I'm a specialist in that? I study the brain of a black man. That is one of my favorite areas of study. Do you know why I study it? Do you know why I study the brain of a black person? Because I cannot believe that so much stupidity can be packed into the brain of only one person. It is impossible. It is impossible for so much idiocy to be put in the brain of one single black African man. It is impossible. You have coal, you cannot generate electricity. You have crude oil, you import petrol. Even that one is enough to sink the whole of the zoo. Do Kuwait import petrol? Do they import kerosene? Well, how did they get their own? They have a refinery. It is called what? Refinery. To refine what? Do you have refinery in the zoo? Do you have crude oil? Then why don't you have petrol? Koro who? Because the brain of a black man is useless. You know, I don't feel sorry for myself. I have no time. I have no time. It's useless black people. They'll be dying in self-pity. Oh, don't say that now. I'm a human being. If we are workable, you are nothing. That's why you're a slave abroad. You are nothing. If you're a human being, you will be in your father's compound, building skyscrapers the same way they are in Kuwait. That's what makes you an honorable human being. If you're outside, you're a slave. Oh, who cable? He came back home. He has been shot dead. On we go. Do you know what we'll say? Rest in peace. And then we wait for the next man to be killed by the police. And we say the same thing. Rest. Nobody will wake up and say, is it the job of the police to be killing people? Or to save them? But because we are black, all of those things don't register. How many of you here are Nigerians? Don't be shy.
If you say that something like this will come up, and that's why we are today. Am I not talking about the issue of religion? I'm doing it. So we're not going to take it personal. Let me bring our sister in. What we have today, you know, all these things. I think there's not enough time to begin to go into this one after the other, but at least we want to know the effect of impact of Western education and religion in Biafra land. Our sister is going to come in. I'm going to bring her in right now. And after her speech, it will be interactive. Some of you that want to call can also call, and let it be opposition. I love opposition. No, you learn when you have opposition. All this, thank you. You know, I know you, unless you want to bring your own contribution, but I wouldn't want us to be coming here and be thanking this, thanking that. You know, these are the things we see in Radio Biafra that cannot allow people who want to make a very valid point not to come in. So, but I will prefer opposition. Like one of our pastor, that pastor, I think I'm going to bring you in after our sister. You told me to link you in. I will link you in, and so that you can also give us your take. What we're asking is the benefit of Christianity. We keep on asking this same question every day by day until we get an answer. What is the major impact of Christianity, and at the same time their education? The people say they brought to us in our land. Doesn't mean we are not educated before they came. Oh, no, you are not, or you are, yeah, but not their own type of education. But come to think of it, that their education itself, what has it lead us? What are we using? What have we achieved with it in our land as it stands now? That education and the hospital, where? How can you say, okay, this is what it has done in our land? Rather, it destroys our own. That's what it does. Let me bring our sister. Let me call her our sister. I think, let me see, the voice will be coming out from here. Yes, our sister, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, man,
your voice is coming out very clearly. You know why we are here? You know, we are here to...
How are you?
I'm good. I brought you in. You know, we are here to very, very carefully and respectfully, you know, engage with our brothers and at the same time to enlighten them. Because this is an enlightening movement on what is going on. And from your own point of view, I will say, what can you see regarding, you know, owing to the fact of what is going on in our land today, and at the same time related to our struggle? You know, what can you look back and say this is the impact of Western education and religion in Biafra land? The floor is yours, our sister.
Thank you, Maazi. Me too. There you go. God bless you. To my fellow Biafrans, good afternoon from here. I'm calling from United States, Maryland. Before we start, because what we're doing hinges on a struggle,
for sure.
I must express my utmost respect to the whom I call the SPAC or Hamadike One of Biafra land. My respect, my prayers to him and to HODOS. I hope I got it right.
Yes.
Yeah, Maazi Doziem.
Yeah.
And all the hierarchy and in DOS as the backbone of this movement, and to all of us, from the greatest one of us to the least one of us. I know none of us is least, but we have to qualify English like that. That's one of the things they brought to us. So, my name is Amaran T. Hyder. I come from Umunoha, an Mbitoli local government. One of the most important things that Umunoha has been known for is a deity called Igwekala, and I'm proud to be part of it. I have my argument for that. That's not for today. So I proudly call myself Ada Igwekala. Ada Noha Okechi Ebi Senerigwe. Anybody from Omonoha that hears this, they will know my voice, they know me, and they know what it connotes. So Omonoha is a very small place. So moving quickly without taking so much time. I thank you all. I paid attention to your comments. I miss you all too. I love you all from the bottom of my heart. This is a word I don't use loosely. When I use the word I love you, I'm talking about agape love. So I love you all, my fellow Biafrans, and I miss you all greatly too. But my silence, I must say, Mazi, I'm going to pivot there quickly. My silence does not mean that all the nonsense, all the brouhaha you guys have been hearing or had on a platform has any iota of truth. Take it from me.
For sure.
I try to communicate with you guys by writing one or two statements I've been posting, which is, the vulture is a Persian bird, and I say, I am the vulture. And I say, the guilty is always afraid. That's why they try to get the narrative ahead. So that's how I'm going to answer that. My silence is not that I have anything. In fact, my life is as thin as a whistle. If these people who concocted this conspiracy, their mastermind, which is Azubike, had any compromise against me, he would have released it. I want you guys to be rest assured. I have not been compromised, whether on a personal level, my life, or in any way when it comes to anything Biafran restoration. Take this statement I'm making today to the banks, they will cash without any qualms. That's who I am. I came into this movement not by any human auction. I was divinely led. At the fullness of time, I will expose all, even my works. Some of them I cannot expose them today. There are a whole lot. There's a reason. We always hear about information management. But I believe that even when you have information management, we must have something you call time management. I believe time management overrides information management. What do I mean? When you have an information, the timing of release of that information is crucial to the effectiveness of that information. If you release your information too soon, you may botch things. If you release them too late, it may, become meaningless. So, in as much as we speak about information management, we must be cognizant of time management. So I just want to throw that. So I want you guys, I see you all, I talked, I am sitting back and enjoying the whole as I watch what is happening. But quickly, Mazi, I'm going to just jump one or two news, then I go to the things you brought up.
Yes.
I've been paying attention. Now, the issue of the conspiracy against me is broader than you guys know or think you know. They're in layers. They are in layers. What you're seeing, what you guys have just experienced are the attack dogs, those that were put in front. There are other layers. They have made several contacts to me. They will listen to this and they know. They made several contacts to me, but because of, by His grace, the kind of person God has made me to be, when I use the word I'm a spiritualist, I don't kid. I know what I mean. Because of that gift God gave me, I was able to discern them before they even came to me. That has been my weapon of defeat. If not, you guys would have heard a whole lot of foolishness. Because they set a serious trap for me, but by His grace I was able to jump all of them. So because they couldn't get me where they wanted to get me, and either to use me to create havoc, or whatever their personal issues were, they reverted to what? Doing this crazy campaign they're doing. And even some of the people they're using, I have sown into their lives. Kindness, that's who I am. Wherever I go, if I encounter you on a personal level, go and check my story from Umunoha. They will tell you, I always sow kindness. I'm an advocate. But let me move forward. So now, I just want to put that out. At the fullness of time, like I said, I'm coming to answer to all of them because they gave a challenge to me to come and debunk what they said if it's a lie. So that's by the way. when you have nothing to hide, you have no fear. That's my strength. So, but let me talk about one or two things you talked about, Mazi. Messages. I think there was something you talked about, giving a message. I want our people to go back to the book of, again, I fight people in their thoughts. That's how I fight. That's why I cite the Bible, because I studied that book. I ate it. I can be proud. I can boldly say that. If we can go to the book of Luke, what brought this argument I want to bring up? When you cited about Ohamadike, I want to thank you again for all his vocals that you've been releasing. They are great ministration and their confirmation to me. One of the reasons I came in this fight. Ohamadike, when you listen to Ohamadike speaks strongly, with strong words about religion, and is passionate about it, trying to let us know what happened to us. These people that are clamoring now, that claim they have a problem, that I made a statement, which was third-person report, that is their problem, and then attacking you now and trying to organize people to attack you. I'm asking, they have no problem with Mazi's words or Amadike one. But even what I spoke or what was going on Radio Biafra, even what you're speaking, is like a watered version of Mazi's message, because we are trying to be careful. We are not Mazi, we can never be Amadike, we can't compete with him. So even when we speak the same thing, we are measured because of people's reaction. So you begin to ask the question, is the problem about the message or the messenger? And because of the trend of things that happened so far, I can guarantee you, let anybody challenge me, it's about the messenger, not the message. Because the same messages coming out even in the lesser, more provocative way is a problem for people, but it wasn't a problem then. Another thing I want to say this before I move forward, I'm going to tell them to go and read the book of Luke, chapter 16, from verse 1 to 8. Now, why is this parable important? It was given by Yeshua, whom they call Jesus Christ. A man, he said about Lazarus and the rich man. I'm not going to go through the whole story. Most of you who claim to be Christians should be familiar with this story. But this rich man died and the poor man died. They ended up in Abraham's bosom. And then it came a time when the rich man was asking for a drop of water, and he thought he could use the same bullying he did when he was alive to instruct the poor Lazarus, who was, when he was on earth, he was a poor man, to go and dip his hand into water and give him. And Lazarus said, I can't. Then Father Abraham got involved. Father Abraham made a poignant statement that is the core of this argument. He said, after going forth and back with the rich man, said, the rich man requested for Father Abraham to send somebody from the land of the dead to go and minister to his brothers, what is going through, so that they could repent. The answer Father Abraham gave was that, no, I will not do that. Because even if I send someone from the dead, they will not believe it. If they could not believe those they see, how do you think they will believe they don't see? So I want you to get that. So that's what is happening to us. We are not interested in the messages. We're interested in the messenger. That was why Father Abraham says, forget it. I'm not going to waste my time, because they will start talking about the messenger. They will not be interested in the message that I'm going to send. So there was no point. And so I needed to get that out, so they can go and read that and see what I'm saying. So let's talk about what just happened. The coronation of Charles, you mentioned it. And even if we did not, the statement you read now, how they came, change our culture, continue to change our culture by force, by fire, by coercion. Go ye and listen to the coronation, one of the oaths that King Charles took. I go up. If you guys did not watch it, go and watch it. I'm going to call this, go, you pay attention. In that, they read to him, when they invoked that as the king of Britain and Scotland and all the people they colonized, or those, part that say part of them, that he, Charles, must swear to rule the people without disrupting or messing up, I'm paraphrasing, their culture, their religion. Did you hear that yesterday? I heard it, and it was beautiful. And he said, may God help him. But look at what they have done to us. That's where I'm coming with this argument. So even as he was taking the oath, he was lying. Or I hope he heard this recording today. Hopefully, after taking that oath, that he will do the needful and let Biafra go and become the indigenous people we are, because he just took an oath that he must respect who we are. That was the oath yesterday. Another thing I picked from there was what? And people have been making a buzz about it. It's the stone that was under the coronation chair. Now, when you talk about, people will tell you that it was came from Scotland. But I want us to do a little bit of research, which was what I did, even though I'm aware of this story, because there was a book I read, and I'm going to recommend it to some of us, those who like to read. It is called Britain and America. You will take the migration of the Israelites after the Assyrians can conquer them. They were completely taken into exile. Because I'm giving this foundation before I go to where we go. I'm going to be quick. Now, people must remember, they call themselves students of the Bible. Let me take you to the Old Testament. There came a time after the death of Solomon, the non-Israel was split into two. One side became Judah, which is the tribe of Benjamin and Judah. Two of them composed the nation of Judah. The other 10 became the nation of Israel. It came a time when Israel began offended God, according to the Bible, but God raised the Assyrians, who came and captured them, took them into captivity. They never came back. They continued to migrate from there. The only people that, after their own capture or their own invasion, which is the Judah by Babylonians, some of them came back. Now, this story is important because of the coronation of Charles yesterday. King Charles yesterday, with all due respect, I don't mean to be referred to him as a king right now. And so that stone you see, even though if you check on the surface, he will tell you that it's from Scotland. But pay attention to the grammar. He was captured by the Scottish people. The argument becomes, when and where was he captured from? If you trace it, and I'm going to ask us again because I don't have much time. You guys can go to look up in your Google the title, The Geological Evidence of British Throne of David. The Geological Evidence for British Throne of David. That throne, that stone you see there is called the Stone of David. That's the real origin. It is the Stone of David. The stone that was under the throne of David, the chair that David sat. Because British ruling family traced their lineage from Jew. That is why even when you go to their coat of arms, you see the Lion of Judah. It's not a mistake. And there is something you will see there. I can't teach that now because it's huge, but I just want to give you guys. There is something you call Urim and Thummim. When you talk about the Jewish one, it's 12 because it comprises the 12 stones, which which are the 12 tribes of Judah, Israel, I meant to say, because he was their father. Now, in the old British, their own is 10. I'm going to explore that story. So you will see all the symbols that were in the Judaic kingdom. That is what they have in their coat of arms. I'm not going to go too much. I just want to give you guys to do the research. Maybe when I start, when I come out fully to debunk all this, that's when I'll start answering some of these things. So it's very, very important that we know all this information. So what they did yesterday was not just ordinary. But these are the same people that told you to trash your own culture.
Exactly.
But they took some of your own culture, made it their own, and then, just like everything they have done, they took our culture. Africa is the template of every civilization. Now they're going into what the argument.
Yes.
Everything from mathematics, cosmology, to even in alphabets, numbers, name it, started from Africa, just like humanity.
So hold on, our sister. Hold on for interrupting you. In other words, you are telling us that we have been educated already before they came.
Yes. Millions of years. We were the first to develop alphabets. We were the first to develop numbers. I'm I'm not even talking about Egyptology, because that's where people get stuck. People must understand, for you to even talk about Egyptology, you must talk about the Kemites, the Kemites, the Nubians. Ask yourself, do we know that you have more pyramids, bigger ones even, in Sudan than Egypt? Ask yourself, why is it they are not talking about Sudanese pyramids? Because once you invoke it, and let me make this distinction, which is what is happening now, there's a huge difference between Southern Sudan and Southern Sudan.
I'm aware.
When you use the word Sudan, which is where the problem is today, is those that comprise of the Arabs. Just what the Fulanis are trying to do in Nigeria was what they did in Sudan. That's what they did in Sudan. And that's what started the conflict. They came in, took over quietly, just like they're doing now, and began to introduce Sharia law and everything, running it, just ran Sudan down. That is why they Southerners. So the Southern Sudan are the real black people.
Yeah.
So it's huge difference. When they separate, when you use the word Southern Sudan, you're talking about the black Sudanese. But when you use the word Sudan, or those mixed with Arabs. Now, why they don't want to talk about those, and that's where you have these pyramids I'm talking about in Southern Sudan. Because that will give credit to Africa.
Exactly.
That's what they don't want to talk about.
Exactly, yeah.
But when you talk about Egypt and they present to you the present population of Egypt, they have close to white. So you begin to think that it was the white people that brought education or brought civilization. No. When you hear that the cradle of civilization started in Egypt, that's not truth. The closest you can give credit to Egypt is what? When they began to document things. But orally, education has been passing through millions of years. Even before you talk about the Kemites, before you talk about the Kemite civilization, you must talk about what? Go back to Africa, where we started. Okay?
Yes.
So like I said, what I wanted to bring is a whole lot. So, yes. So that's what they have done everywhere. If the Fulanis are able to conquer us today, tomorrow, in the next 100 years, the person you'll be seeing are not going to be pure blacks. And then if they want to give credit, they'll give it credit to them.
Exactly.
That's what I've been doing.
Exactly.
Let me give us one of these kicker. There is this medical breakthrough. Now every day you're hearing about stem cell cocktail or stem cell healing type of genomics. By the way, I want to use this opportunity, but if you allow me to give a shout out to my daughter, she's listening to me.
Yeah,
I want to tell her congratulations. She's graduating next week. So I'll be traveling to New York after a long battle.
Yeah, that's good.
A long journey, and then to say. So she's graduating. I'm so proud of her. She has done herself good, done herself proud, and of course, I, as a mother and the entire family, my entire family, we are so proud. Even though in my family we have up to my mother's grandchildren in my family, both in Nigeria especially, we have up to 6 doctors in my family. But my daughter is going to be the first to graduate in America as a medical doctor. And I have my relatives and others coming in. So I just want to appreciate her. Thank her for listening to me.
Exactly. Also, I think it's we that now we have known. I want you to tell her that the Biafrans in general, because if you see the comment section, they have already started congratulating her. Tell her we are proud of her as a sister and we want her to continue shining and at the same time making us proud, because we believe that is one of us, and any progress we see in her, it is for the well-being of Biafran people. Thank you very much. Our sister continue. Congratulations to her from my own. Yes.
Thank you. She's going to appreciate because she listens to me. She knows what I'm doing.
Exactly.
I took permission from her before I jumped in.
Exactly.
She's my only child, so we have that level of relationship. But yes, she's going to do us proud because what she's doing is PhD in medicine. That's what she's doing. And why I brought her name in here is because of the area I'm going in, genomics. That's her interest, researches. So I believe, which I told her, she knows about Biafra. I told her, by his grace, you're not going to make impact in America. You're going to make impact in your mother's land because we have a lot of things to be researched on. So why am I going talking about? There is somebody you call Henrietta Lacks. Henrietta Lacks was an African-American woman. That is why I remembered my daughter, just to talk about her, because it's the same thing. This woman is the one that gave us this breakthrough of stem cell, which is genomics, which is treating disease at a cellular level, okay, molecular biology. That's what you're talking about. So that's why some of this breakthrough. This woman has cancer. A black woman, she died at the age of 35. I want us to go and check her. Some of us, as we speak today, are carrying her DNA. This woman, after she suffered the cancer, even though they couldn't cure her, these are hundreds of years back. I think about 100 or 200 years. I don't know. But, you know, when you look at it, tell you. But her name is Henrietta Lacks.
I'm reading it, yes.
Or you can look at Hella cell line. Okay? This woman is even in her gene, is even in some of the medications we are using today, like cancer medication. All these things that we are getting breakthrough. So before she died, a nurse took her sample of her genetic profile. And then, after many years, do you know that they have been using, because she's the only living human being today, that her genetic profiles does not die outside the human body. Nobody, the black woman. But do you know the white people hid this thing? And have been using her for experiment, doing everything, taking credit as usual what they do. That's where I'm coming. How they come and take what belongs to us and they'll make it their own. And then some of us will come and begin to speak of something they don't know, giving credit to the white people. He has been their parent.
Exactly.
So it was recently that their family, one of them, a generation of course, read about this article. Somebody revealed it, you know, that just like you said, and most average white people are all good and honest people. It's just their policy makers that is the problem. Their policy makers, they are the ones that do all this foolishness and craziness. So it was somebody that kept the family. This is what I've been doing with the genetic profile of your sister. He has empowered the medical line. You know, people are being healed and we are not giving them credit because they don't want to give the royalty that belongs to them. It's a long story. You guys go and read it. I just want to bring it up. So I'm talking about the importance of how they have taken our things and made it their own. The second thing I want to go into is the diamond on the head of King Charles. Do we know where it comes from? From South Africa. That's where it came from. They stole it.
You see?
Okay? But now they have made it their own. They have made it their own. They stole it. They have not paid any money or royalty to them. You know, even though I'm not going to the spiritual aspect of that. So let's look at let me go into the impact of what is. We have to ask ourselves first, what is education?
That's what
important.
Exactly.
We must. So, from Google, quick definition is this. It says, education is the process of receiving, pay attention guys, underline these few words I'm going to mention, receiving systematic instruction, especially at school or university. Now, what is school? School is a place of learning. Okay? Because even when we were growing up, some of us who were fortunate to meet some of our grandfathers or grandmothers, I remember a time after we finished dinner, we would sit at the feet of one of my uncles, Jojo, bless his heart, and he'd be telling us folk tales. Okay? It was a kind of education because he was passing information to us orally. Why am I making this argument? Because people think it's only when you go to 4 walls that you say you're educated.
Exactly.
You can go to the 4 walls without even allowing the 4 walls to go through you. But you see some of us will come out, they have how many degrees, but they cannot showcase any behavior of somebody that attended an institution because they just passed through the walls. They did not allow whatever is in that institution to pass through them. So, but let's go to that was the education. But let's go to the true meaning. Okay?
Yes.
It is really an enlightening experience. Enlightenment is an enlightening experience to illuminate you. Even what we are doing now is education. It's citadel. That's what IPOB is. The platforms of IPOB, if rightly used, supposed to be a citadel of learning, impacting us. Because even when you go to the story of the Israelites, because people like to cite that. Moses was a story he had, according to them, and then he came and began to convince the Jews. They didn't want to go, just the same thing that is happening now. He began to tell them the story. Elohim told me, Jehovah told me, you are my people. Come back to me. I'm taking you to a place to worship me. I'm paraphrasing all these things. He was orally, he told them. They did not go to school. He educated them orally. The same thing we are doing. So let's go to the broader meaning. It's a true meaning of education. It says, it's an act or process of imparting or acquiring general knowledge, developing the powers of reasoning, powers of reasoning and judgment, and generally of preparing oneself or others intellectually for mature life. Then I ask myself the question, what then is the purpose of education? He said the main purpose of education is to provide the opportunity for acquiring knowledge and skills that will enable people to develop their full potential, become successful members of society. That's what IPOB is doing. That's what we are doing. Because we have been misled. We have been told that we are nobody. We have been told that we did not matter. We does not matter. That is why you see our people, because they don't know their potentials, because they don't know who they are. Somebody walks in and tells you a story. You buy it. They tell you about the Bible. I challenge you, go and study your Bible. 70% of those who claim to be Christians do not even read the Bible. 80 to 90% do not even study the Bible. That's where the problem is. Because if you can take out time and study the Bible, and then you go to the historical facts, don't just read the Bible, historical facts. I didn't write any of these. Go there and check them. And as you're studying the Bible, please make sure you have what you call strong concordance and Bible references and Bible dictionary. These will help you to have an informed decision, and it will provoke your thoughts. You will find out that we were worshiping the true God. And when I mean this, I'm talking about millions of years back, until there was corruption. I believe when that corruption came, that's where you began to see what you call the wave out of Africa. God began to disperse human beings. Ask yourself, why did people all of a sudden, after millions of years, began to disperse? And if you find that as they began to travel out of Africa, begin to head towards the north, get into Mesopotamia, you began to hear all this religion. That's when religion began to develop. These are millions of years. You hear about the epic of Mesopotamia, all this. God, we knew how to worship God. Even though my ancestors never heard about Yeshua, whom they call Christ. Yeshua is a Lord, is not a God. There are two things. Just like Mazi or Hamadike is a Lord for the Africa, for the African liberation of Africa in general. Mazi is not God, he's a Lord. Go and find out the definition of a Lord. That will help us to understand when I use that word. It's not, I'm not trying to make him a spirit, it's not a spirit, but it's a Lord. Even in Britain, you hear them say, my Lord, my Lord, my Lord. It doesn't mean the person is a God or a deity.
Yes.
So we knew these things. My ancestors knew these things. Just like every other culture have their own way of worship.
Correct.
If you go to India, there's something you call Ayurveda. Ayurveda is a natural.
Right.
But spiritualism and religion were mixed up together before. Now, you see people yoga. Now it's been commercialized. Yoga is a component of Ayurveda. I have a certification in Ayurveda. That's why I speak with this strength. Talking about the doshas, the pranas. So now, what am I saying? They were trying to communicate, and if you watch the true way to apply yoga, you wake up in the morning, take those positions with your deep breathing, and face the sun. What was our ancestors doing? You get up in the morning, you take what was natural to you, Oji, Osu, Hunzu, Odo. With all four, you face the sun. They knew that. And they were getting results, just like the man. Just like when you go to Asia, you have the Asian way of worship. How come that every other person, their own way of attending to God is acknowledged, except African way of worship? When they call it black magic. But everything started from this black magic. That's where it all started. Every religion you think about, go and check their source and origin, their behaviors, their pattern, they started from Africa. So we knew this. So that is the fight we are in. It's time for the awakening of Africa. Back again. It's rotational. It's our time. That's what is happening now, because Asia is about to take control of the global stage. Then Africa is going to be the next. That is what is happening now. People must understand that. It didn't start today. That was why there was a time we ruled. Our time is coming. That's the awakening now. You see, everybody is hearing it. The same thing they had before. There is this passion to wake up, because it's time for us to wake up. You know?
I got it.
Look, I'm gonna
hold on, our sister. Hold on, let me.
The white colonial. Hold on, let me make this plan to be true.
Okay.
Then you can ask me a question. So, when people try to compare education and that's a white man's education and the education our ancestors knew and had, which enabled them to. I mean, let's talk about this. All the food our ancestors were able to identify to us, we are still eating it, and they are even they are healthier ones. They are the healthy food. How did they get to know this? They went through what you call research. So they were masters in research. Because research is for you to be able to investigate something and see the valuability of it and decide what you need and what you don't need. We know that even during researches, it depends on the kind of research, people die. So when they were going through researches to identify the particular food that is healthy, and some of these food have been put into scientific researches, and they found that they are very nutritious in nature. How did our ancestors got to know? These are questions people must ask. In my place, we have this adage that how did they get to that point? Because they had the knowledge. Because they were trying things. They were practicing things. Whether through intuition, through direct research, trial and errors, which is what research is, they were educated human beings. The ventures they did, Ugwele is one of them. These people were able to produce axe 250,000 years ago. 250,000 years. Now, that tells you they must have mastered how to make ore and mix it with iron to come up with this invention. Pure education. They knew how to do market weaving before the white man began to take it over now. We were the first people to produce soap before the white man came and took it over. We were the first people to make a ceramic pot or make all these pots, clay pot. It's the same thing when you use a little bit of technology, it becomes ceramic. Everything, like I said, that we call technology today started from Africa. The only thing that when they came in and disrupted us, there was a stay. I use the word war because now we're waking up. Now what we have to do now to begin to learn their own language and culture. That's what they brought to us. They didn't bring education. They wanted to learn their way of life so that they can use it to control us. If they so loved us, what they could have done is to come and they came to us to learn our own life and culture.
And improve on it. Yes.
Yes. They did it the other way because they want to control us. So now, the time I will use in going to school to use my culture and dialect and native things I know, I'm going to abandon it and begin to, first of all, learn their language and culture. Do you know how many years we missed?
I know.
That's where our problem started.
I know.
So the white colonial master did not educate our people in their language, culture, because they do not care about us. Neither was because they want to know who we are. No. They did it just to make sure that they suppress who we were, because they found an advanced culture, an advanced civilization in every ramification. They knew they couldn't defeat us by force after they tried to kill many of us. They came with what? Soft approach, which is where the religion comes in. Because we were already spiritual people. So they brought what I call Ishmael effect. Ishmael effect is something that looks like the original, but it's not. Call it fake. So because our people, what they were telling them, because they didn't know that when they first made contact with us, they studied our culture, they studied everything. They went back, repackaged them, brought it back in the form of their own religion. So when you're reading the Old Testament, you say, this is true, this is true, this is talking about me. Of course it's talking about you. But it's not the whole truth they were dispensing to you. They have repackaged it now to suit their own purpose. They knew what they were doing. Call them smart, yes. They're wickedly smart. Because there are two ways of wisdom. Good wisdom and negative wisdom. They apply the negative one. try to control us because they saw our resources. They knew what we were. So that disruption is what looked like. Some people will come and claim, what did the ancestors do? Your ancestors created every template that the white man built up today. In whatever ramification. You want to talk about cosmology. It started from us. You know, even in the Bible, they tell you the three magi. If they were telling the story, if those people they can establish they came from Africa, they call them the three magicians. The true voodoo people. Okay? When it tells you that they come from the east, where exactly is the east? Because the time they're telling you, there was no way a shepherd will be shepherding their flocks in November, December, cold season. So these people must have come from North Africa or even West Africa. The Bible did not tell you how long they journeyed. I remember in those days, the only mode of transportation was horses and donkeys. So that story you're hearing in the Bible, the three magi sighted a star, did not happen in Israel. It did not happen in any Eastern platform or chorus. It happened somewhere in Africa. Because he told you after they saw it, they set out on a journey. The Bible did not tell you how long they traveled. It didn't say that. It was silent. They will know the rest of the effect. So, yes. I'm just trying to encourage us to let us know that again, I must write this story right, and I don't blame them. When a story is told from the victor, they will tell you to suit them. They're not going to tell you to suit you. So that is the journey we are in, to rewrite this story and let the truth stand. And if any one of them think, I'm talking about the colonial masters that were wrong, I'm happy that they are the archaeologists. They are the ones telling us what happened. Let them come and dispute us. That's the name of the game. Superior argument.
Thank you, our sister. Thank you, our sister. Hold on. You have used one stone to kill two birds. Because
you're really telling me that you can come to my house, enslave me, rape my wife, rape my daughter, kick me out of my house, and then you give me a savior. And I embrace that savior. And I embrace the savior of the person who came into my house, took my house, raped my wife, raped my daughter, and impoverished me, and enslaved my sons, and enslaved my grandchildren. And I must run with that God given to me by this slave master. A slave who worships the God of the slave master is a slave who is damaged in his mind. A slave who worships the God of his slave master is a slave who is damaged in his mind. And I'm here to awaken black people. Who you were before you met this wicked, diabolic white man is enough. And I'm calling you to fall back in love with that. Go back to there. Go back there. Now you're glorifying the ancestors of people you know nothing about. You are glorifying the Moses. You are glorifying the Davids. You are glorifying the Solomons. You are glorifying those people are not connected to you in any way, shape, or form. And you demonize your ancestors. You are your ancestors are you. We are because our ancestors were. We are because our ancestors were. And they were because we are. It's the same lineage. the same DNA flowing through your blood veins. And now you've been convinced by some form of religious witchcraft to demonize who you are, to demonize your ancestors, and glorify people. And this is what Afrocentric community is all about. To make you fall back in love with yourself again. To look at yourself with fresh, new eyes. To undo the damage that has been inflicted in your head for hundreds of years. We are undoing that damage. And you need to just go and think when you get home. And make sense out of worshiping a god of your slave master. And go and make sense. Go and explain to your children why you chose to worship the God of your slave master. To me, it doesn't make sense. Unless I've been subdued in my mind and conquered in my spirit. Unless I've been subdued in my mind and conquered in my spirit. That's the only way you can worship the God of your slave master. Your mind has to be subdued. Your spirit has to be conquered. Africa, you don't have to worship the God of your slave master. Africa, go back to who you were before you met the slave master. Africa, go back to who you were before you met your colonizers. Go back to who you were before you met the people that brought the worst pain and misery in your life. And I'm leading that path. I'm leading that path. Whoever wants to follow, I'm leading that path. But I'm done. I'm done being the salesman of a colonial religion. I'm not going to sell no colonial religion to nobody no more. I'm going to strive to be who I was, who my great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather was before we met the colonizers.